Okay, security policy training and procedures. Well, what does this mean? We have a security policy. Obviously, we know what that is, generally speaking. Training and procedures, we need to understand that we first of all, have some type of policy in place that we can train our users on. Secondly, we need to really take this seriously and understand that there's a purpose for this. Okay, a lot of times policies get put in place and they're kind of stuck in the back of a book somewhere and no one really addresses them, no one trains on them, no one really cares about them. Well, when it comes to security, we really need to make sure that this comes to the forefront of each employee's mind, from an entry-level employee to middle management, senior management, and so forth. All right, so this awareness and this awareness training is going to reduce risk. All right, so how does that reduce risk? You might ask. Well, the employees learn to identify potentially risky behavior, things in violation of corporate policy, and then social engineering attacks, phishing attacks, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so when we have somebody come in and either a security audit or a security professional, they might go down and do a checkbox and make sure that we have all the bases covered. That's great. But we need to really ingrain in each and every employee, again, from top level management down to the entry level personnel, that we need to make sure they understand everybody has a responsibility to keep an eye out for security related incidents. Everyone has a responsibility basically to utilize best practices. And then if we train properly, we can identify this potentially risky behavior. In other words, if someone calls in from the outside and says, "Hey, my name is so and so. I'm checking on employee ABC, and I'm calling from a sister company, or I'm calling from a remote location." Well, we need to make sure that we train people to actually ask for identification, to verify information before they give out anything. Anything that might be personally identifiable or could potentially be hazardous to the company. So we need to make sure that employees understand actually what is considered personally identifiable information. And we're going to talk about that more in just a few, but just generally speaking, things like credit card numbers, driver's license numbers, date of birth, social security, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so we need to make sure that people understand, hey, I can't just give out anybody's information, whoever asks. I have to verify some information first myself. And you very well may have experienced this yourself when you get called from somebody and they want to verify your information, or if you call in and ask to change an account number or change your billing date or change anything about an account that you may own. A lot of times they'll ask you, hey, can I have, or I need to verify some information first. And you always go, at least I do. I'm like, what do you need that for? You already knew who I am. And they go through the policy or the process. I'm sorry, sir, but this is just part of our policy. We need to make sure that we verify these 3 pieces of information before we can go any further, that type of thing. So if everyone takes that same posture and makes sure that they are verifying before they give information, that will go a long way to helping mitigate risk.